benefits for middle-class families.
All right.
Major.
Let's talk about Ferguson for a second. I'll get back to Hillary in a second.
Okay, great. That's to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. So, has the President had a chance to look at the Justice Department report that describes a pattern and practice of discrimination by the Ferguson Police Department, and also unveiled some racist comments by police officers, and some of them directed at the President himself? And does he have any comment on the report or what it found, both in patterns and practice and some of the unsettling emails and conversations it also brought to light?
I don't believe the President has had a chance to read the report. It was just released publicly within the last hour or so. There have been
for a good long while.
It has, and there have been some details about that report that have leaked out in advance. I have not spoken to him about any of those specific details that did leak out in advance, but obviously the President is focused on this issue of trying to address the situations in those communities where there does exist some distrust between law enforcement officers and the communities they're sworn to serve and protect. And this is an issue that has emerged as a very difficult and thorny one in Ferguson, Missouri. But we know that there are other communities across the country where legitimate concerns have been raised, both by some community leaders, but also in some situations by law enforcement officers. And so trying to address this is a priority of the President's, and it's part of this 21st Century Task Force.
Let's try to drill down on it a little bit, because in a couple of exit interviews, Attorney General Eric Holder has said he believes, and I wonder if the President agrees, that there needs to be an adjustment of federal law so the Justice Department can more actively prosecute cases either like Darren Wilson or George Zimmerman, or bring police departments that have a pattern of practice the Justice Department finds outside the boundaries of the Constitution into a criminal legal proceeding. Attorney General Holder said, if we adjust these standards, we can make the government a better backstop, make it more a part of the process in an appropriate way. Does the President believe federal law needs to be changed to give the Justice Department more authority and strength in this particular area?
Well, there is an active conversation underway right now as it relates to, more broadly, criminal justice reform. And there has been bipartisan interest expressed in this area by members of Congress, both in the House and the Senate. There aren't too many areas like that. So this could be a potentially fruitful opportunity for Democrats and Republicans to work together on something in Congress.
But
and
that's been generally confined to sentencing and prison populations and things like that. You would add this to that conversation.
Well, I think that there are some members of Congress, I think they're probably mostly Democrats,
yes,
who do believe that this should be added to the conversation. And the President would certainly be willing to consider those kinds of proposals.
Federal law is too weak in this category.
Well, I think the President would be willing to consider proposals that some people may have for making reforms to the law that relate to this.
Anyone here to produce some that he can propose?
Not that I'm aware of off the top of my head, but at some point, as the President continues to talk about some of these issues, and he will, he may either mention it proactively, or one of you may have an opportunity to ask him about it.